So I don't know if I talked about it in the last video. I think I did. I've been having an idle issue with the Tacoma, which my buddy and I actually managed to fix, kind of. We went in to the engine bay and we pulled off the intake. Pulled off the intake right here, and then we pulled cylinders 5 and 3, which is right down in there, to check the spark plugs. And cylinder 5 was pretty rank of a plug. After we put it back together, all the issues went away and it started running better. My gas mileage went back up to 18 where it was I'd expect it to be, and I stopped having the strange idle problems. So today, because I've never done a video on this, I'm going to be swapping out all the spark plugs on the Tacoma because they are old and they've probably been in there for the previous 80,000 miles that the truck has been alive, and some of them look a little messed up. So we're going to go ahead and swap those. Shouldn't take too long, but I think it's going to be a bit of a pain because you have to take off the intake manifold, or the intake, like the plastic on top. I don't know, I'm not an auto mechanic. The speed was really easy because you pop off the intercooler and then all 4 spark plugs are right there. But the Tacoma, the left bank are covered by the intake, which is great. So we're gonna go ahead and pop some of these things apart and swap out the plugs. Man, I wish I would have done this before I put the lift on. It's a little tall, man.
It was a 7/8. Hopefully ours is
oh,
nice.
Boy. Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, I guess we'll do what we did before. So I'll undo the MAF sensor, and then I need to get my ratchet. Oh, we never tightened this down, by the way. I thought about that when we drove away, but it's fine.
You shouldn't have to disconnect these. They should be able to move out of the way with this and then come out of the clip. But those coolant hoses are linked to your heater core right here. They're kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
They kind of get in the way of everything.
Yeah, they look like they would.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Oh, I got it.
Lemon on.
Yeah, let me squeeze by you.
All right, so you got the MAF sensor. It's got a little plastic clip that kind of just sticks into the side of the resonator box, and then this random vacuum hose that's coming off of the right side valve cover. Cool. Now we get to work our way around the bolts. I don't know. Let's see. What's next over here? They're Toyota Tech. So we got these are what?
Work your way around here.
line.
Start disconnecting some of this stuff off the intake. Kind of get it free and ready.
Just like that.
It's so nice with it.
Me?
I used to rip them up with screwdrivers.
Fuck no, dude. That shit's gotta go back in. Let's see, you're probably a 12. You are indeed.
10, 12, and 14, I think it's a Toyota.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. Same with the speed. But add an 8 in there for the speed.
Right.
So now it looks like we've got another 12 here and another 12 here. And then we've got a 10 here for the heater core piping right there. That looks like we can leave it alone. And then my buddy also said,
I never had rear brakes.
you gotta get all the way back up in here, but there is an angled, I don't have a flashlight. I'll show you once I can get to it, or when I take the manifold off. But there is another, I think it's a 10 millimeter, but this one's a stud in the back.
Yeah, I've seen
I was sitting there with fucking needle nose pliers pushing and trying to, oh
That's
my
what
God.
I do. I never bought the tool. I never found a need for it.
I plan on doing onboard air. So
It's expensive, but it's worth it. Let debris out, and then you'll thread it in. Or if you buy a newer one, they already have them. That's where it went to find me new tools.
Yeah.
oh, why is this side so much harder to adjust than the other?
The whole truck. Why did I do this to myself? Oh, there's a plug.
Whether I remember right, yeah, there's a plug, and then I think there's a bracket like this back here. I'm pretty sure there's a bracket like this back there that you have to get off, which is a pain. It's just that, like the bolts for this area, there's one back there that's a pain, and then there's that bracket bolt, if I remember right. I'm doing fine here.
Let's get that.
Yep, there we go. And then we'll just kind of.
I got a couple of vacuum lines here I gotta pull.
Yeah, be careful. I think those are coolant hoses.
These are. Oh yeah, they are coolant.
So we'll just kind of set this there.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is like that. Yours is like the other ones.
Oh man, there is some oil in that.
That is called EGR/PCV.
Disgusting.
So yeah, you kind of just tilt that out of the way unless you want to drain the coolant out of those.
I really don't. Dude, EGR sucks. Look at that. That's disgusting looking.
exhaust gas.
Wow.
Soot and unburnt fuel.
That's so gross. Huh. Sweet. These are also not 12s, they're 10s. Of course they are.
Yeah, it's going to be 10s and then the 9/16 spark plug socket.
Yeah, I don't have...
Or 7/16, whatever the smaller one is.
I'll have to get my deep socket over there because I gotta...
Running just here. Engine's running good. And then... Just knock.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
30.
That's about 30, maybe 32. Let's see the new one. Oh, that's definitely tighter.
You said there's supposed to be 32 thousandths for this?
That's what the plugs are supposed to come gapped at.
What about, what does it say for Tacomas?
You want to Google it?
Because that's what I would set them at.
Yeah, this one's right around 26, 28. All right, new one going in. Didn't realize that. I knew I had this. I didn't know why I had a long socket, but spark plugs it
Well, it's also got rubber in it too.
to hold it in.
Hold it in and then insulation.
That's and then
All right, I know you're upside down right now, and I'm sorry. So you've got a plate that's right here, and I got to get that off in order to get to cylinder 3. So it's a 10 mil, and it's fucking on there like it was hanging on the wall, unless John took it down.
what did I do? What the fuck is that?
Nope, it's not there anymore. Just to show you. So to get to the bolts on, or the coil pack bolts on this side, I ended up undoing a lot of this wiring harness. So you have like a cam sensor plug or something right here, and then there's another one right here. And then you have a 10 millimeter bolt right here that you can undo. And then this just kind of like pulls straight up and out right there, and then you can wiggle it around to be able to pull out cylinder number 1. And then to get to number 6, I had to undo this 10 millimeter bolt back here, and then this like foam heat sink thing just pulls straight up and off. And that's how I was able to get to that one. So nothing super difficult, but yeah. And then you can see that plug right here that I took out of the back of the intake. But they're all replaced, so I'm gonna clean it up, put it all back together, and then we'll crank it. Right next to each other. Yeah. The other ones you can just leave. That is really unfortunate of a spot. I don't know if that little light thing that's showing up on the camera is the screw, but it has fallen straight down there, this guy. So time to get creative. All right, let's see. We are...
Well, I guess I should probably turn on the parking brake. Right.
Yes!
What, you just gotta fill up the
Look at that!
and driving it?
I'm a fucking surgeon. Sounds like it's running good. That sounds like really good. Nice.
Better than the first time I looked at it.
Yeah, a lot better than the first time, that's for sure. Well, fuel injector cleaning is next. Eventually. It's expensive. Here is the full spread for you. So we have the right bank, even though it's on the left, and the left bank, even though it's on the right, because that's how I took it out of the car. So this is cylinder 1, 3, 5, and 2, 4, 6. You can sort of kind of see them all next to each other in the light here. They look relatively even jumping. You can tell though that the right bank, which is on the left side here, because I suck, is definitely more burnt looking than the left. You can see a whole lot more like discoloration and charring coming up the threads. I don't necessarily know what that would be an indication of, but I will say that with my truck, it's not as bad on cylinder 3, which is weird. This is the one that was incredibly burnt and seemed like it had a lot of charring and unburnt fuel and that kind of stuff that was built into it, or that was on it whenever we pulled it the first time, which is what was causing the weird idling issue. But, so back to the threads being discolored. If you look at the left bank, This side was serviced about 20,000 miles ago, or 18,000, something like that. And you can see the difference between the plugs. Now, the electrodes themselves look about the same, so I don't believe they changed the plugs, because they do look very much the same when it comes to the gapping of the spark plug and all that sort of stuff. But the threads definitely look a lot cleaner, which I guess kind of makes sense because they took the engine apart and had to do some stuff with the cylinders. They had to replace the cylinder head, and so they would have cleaned it and had new gaskets and seals and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sure that the left side looks better just because it's more newly sealed than the right side is. So this one's probably going to get to a point here where I'm going to have to replace their cylinder head or head gasket or something like that. So that's great. But I thought I would just show that to you. It's pretty neat. There's a lot that you can read from spark plugs. I'm not an expert. If you guys have seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I don't know what I'm talking about. I kind of do. I Google a lot of things. But the main reason I like to do this type of stuff is to show you that you can do this in your garage by yourself or with a buddy. And it's really not that hard. So don't go to a shop and have them do it and spend a whole bunch of money to have this done when you can do it yourself really easy. But yeah, so the spark plugs tell you a lot. Because I'm not an expert, I can't really go in depth with all that sort of stuff without Googling and sitting here and reading from a piece of paper that I read off the internet. So I'm not gonna bore you with that. If you are curious about what the different things mean on spark plugs, having oil in it, whether or not they're burnt, charred, white, smell funny, whatever, as indications of having oil past your cylinder seals, your coolant and stuff is getting into the cylinders, the engine is running rich, it's running lean, all that sort of stuff can be figured out by reading the spark plugs and how they look. So I hope you learned something today. I didn't really expect a whole lot of craziness, but like I said, they needed to be replaced. And I'd never taken apart the top of the engine for the Tacoma before in order to get to the spark plugs. It's not hard. It took me, I don't know, probably an hour and a half. It would have been less if I hadn't dropped that screw for the intake manifold. But yeah, so I don't know, it was easy, it was quick, and it's kind of fun. So if you have learned something or enjoyed at all this video, then come back and see me again, and I'll see you next time. And I sign out.